Good morning or afternoon or evening, depending on when you're watching this, Star Wars and Unboxing fans. Welcome to another on the road edition of Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba. And today, I have to speak a little louder because my auto air conditioning is running at full blast because it is quite warm out right now. It's just under 90 degrees here in New Jersey. It is a beautiful sunny day with a little bit of cloud cover in August. And I am going to take a quick jaunt about 25 minutes away to the Golden Nugget Flea Market. I've made several attempts to check out this flea market in the past. I'm sorry to say that my initial plan was to get up pretty early, but I ended up having a later night doing some work, and I wasn't able to get up quite so early. So it's pretty much we're into the late morning, approaching early afternoon. So I don't know what's going to be there. I know that I have set up booths years ago, and I mean years ago, in the past. And generally speaking, it runs from like 6 a.m. and it starts to really wind down around noon. I mean, it goes, I think, officially until 2 or 3, but those last couple of hours don't really see much action. This is also a Wednesday versus a weekend. It opens Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I'm not even sure what things are going to be like. Now, full disclosure, I have a new piece of tech that I'm going to try. And again, guys, be aware, I am not by any means a high-end producer of video content on YouTube. I find the most, user-friendly ways to do it, inexpensive ways to do it. The quality is therefore somewhat lacking here and there because of that. So I just wanted to give you a heads up. But I have a cam that I kind of have on my chest here that it's just going to kind of give us some 1080 quality video walking around. All right. So this is a kind of a test run. So forgive me if it's not ideal. If maybe leave a comment if you prefer just me holding my camera. Sometimes I have a gimbal. Maybe that's a little bit better. It's just nice to be hands-free, and I've watched a lot of flea market videos where it seems like they all just have some type of a piece of a camera kind of attached to their head or their chest, and they walk around. So I just want to try it out, see what it is. I tested it around my house. Video seems decent enough. I don't know how bumpy it's going to be, and I also don't know the sound quality, what that's going to be like. So we will just try it out. Okay, we're just playing around with it and see what we got. I've had such a major run of Star Wars collecting, particularly in the vintage area. If you watch the channel, watch the videos that have come out thus far, I've been having a lot of successful auction wins with things like Heritage Auction and Benny Galleries, along with, as we mentioned multiple times on the channel, the Star Wars Daddy YouTube channel, which ties into an eBay store that I've been able. He does auctions every week, and I've won week after week quite a few items. And I've said, full disclosure, some of them are for my personal collection, some of them are to kind of do some customizations and some fun stuff, and then some of them will be repriced, often for the very same amount that I paid for, maybe just a few dollars more, and placed in the sale for next year. This flea market that I'm going to may also be a contender for maybe having a sale or running a booth, not a booth, but a table, if you will, there in the future. They have several different types for different costs. They have just a simple outdoor table for $20, $30 a table. They have a covered, kind of like a canopy covered area, so it's shaded, for a few dollars more. And then they have an indoor space. I'm not going to go in the indoor space. You can go back on past videos and look for those. The indoor spaces, it's just like going into another antique center, but it seems like I've gone 3 or 4 times. Some of them I didn't broadcast. There's nothing different. The people that they sell very little. There's not a lot of turnaround in their stores. So or maybe there's a ton of turnaround. I just can't get there except every couple of months. So because of that, it just kind of seems like it's the same stuff that doesn't sell that just stays in there. So I'm just taking a check out and see what we have. All right, so let's go walk around the Golden Nugget Flea Market in Lambertville, New Jersey, and see what we can find. What time did you get here this morning?
6:30.
Oh, okay. Hey. BB-8 alarm clock.
No, you're going behind. Get up front.
Marble with all four of them with stands came to 900 for the four of them. And the cool thing is, that's the zeolite. Let me see. That's not there. One there. One there. Next one. No. No, that's two. No, that's 1885.
Back here. Oh, I didn't want to, like, sorry. That's the closest to vintage you're going to find, I think. Collectible.
Louis, where you at? Right here. Oh, okay. They gotta wait.
What are you asking on this guy?
This stuff's 70, 80 kilo. Your first 30 kilo. I got boxes of that.
Give me 12.
12?
Yeah.
All right, we can do that. And just see if there's anything else.
Oh.
That's simple. Bigger ain't always better. This is what Big one down the bottom. Let's see if it's jumping.
Thank you so much. Have a good one. All right.
His truck, his car, the boat, the motorcycle. Oh, God.
Okay. I got you.
And wine.
Ay, 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 ay. Okay.
No, not that one. There's another one down the road.
Now I got you. Okay, okay. Yeah. You too. Love you. Love you. Bye bye.
Okay, well, one little item. Got the Jar Jar Gungan Assault Cannon, the Jar Jar Binks. I honestly can't remember if I have this in my collection. Whether I do or don't isn't really that much of a deal. I'll probably end up putting it out in a sale. If you watched, I don't know if that video will come out, but he was asking 12, so I took it, and I'll probably just put it out for the same price, about 15. But yeah, there's been a bit of a resurgence in prequel interest. You know, with the kids of yesteryear are now adults with discretionary income. There seems to be a little bit of interest in that. So we'll see. You know, I don't think it's going to be anything crazy because, of course, all the prequel items were so mass-produced in their day that they really aren't, that there really isn't that much demand for them. So we'll see what happens. Rather than end the video here now, I will say the place itself, very sparsely crowded. I watched a video on YouTube of someone else who was a seller setting up a shop there in like April or May, and it seemed their booth was quite busy, but you know, they could have edited it down because it was an hour-long video and they were there for like 6 hours. So their booth seemed to have a lot of action, but I'm looking in the background, it was very much like this. It was a lot of sparsely populated tables. So I just don't know if Golden Nugget is has a level of interest that it used to. So I'm gonna tack on, I think, if I don't, then I'll end the video here, but I might try to tack on, if the weather cooperates, to go out to the Meadowlands on Saturday, if they're still running their Saturday morning flea market. I went there in the winter, and it was actually quite busy, freezing cold. So I'd welcome a nice hot day to counter that. So we'll see if I do. If I don't, I'll end the video here. But if I am able to get there, we'll see. I'll try to check out and see if this camera works. I mean, I was looking down at it. It seemed like it was a little bit bumpy just from the camera itself. So I'm sure it's going to be a little shaky. Of course, we'll edit out all the walking and past empty tables parts. And I don't know if it can pick up my own talking. So I'll have to wait and see. Again, we're just playing around with it. So, all right. So either the video ends here, or the next thing you'll see is us getting ready to go to Meadowlands. Good morning, Star Wars unboxing fans. Welcome to another on-the-road edition of Darth Tuba's Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba, heading out to a flea market. About 6 months ago, I checked out the Meadowlands Flea Market. Ooh, sorry for that. Meadowlands Flea Market is located at the Meadowlands Sports Complex. It runs every Saturday from 8 to 4, I think, throughout the year. And the time, and if you think about this, it is now August at the time I'm recording this video. When I went in, I guess it was February. Probably not. Very dewy this morning, I'm still seeing. It's probably not the best time to go. Yet, it was quite busy for a, there we go. Woo. It was quite busy for a February Saturday, daytime outing. So I checked it out. You know, there was a lot of different things. Obviously, flea markets are flea markets. There's all sorts of, you know, you never know what you're going to find there. So looking for Star Wars, particularly vintage Star Wars, could be a major hit or miss, mostly miss kind of a thing. So it is what it is. I'm okay with it. I just want to, you know, but finally, 8 months later, I've got it Saturday. I've got some time. I want to check it out. So we're going to see what happens. There are some other shops and stuff up in that neck of the woods. I've checked a few of them out over the years. I did put out a video a few months ago about that. I don't know if I'm going to revisit them, just because, well, okay, so if you've been watching my channel, you've been seeing that I've been acquiring lots of items to put out in the sale. I've been actually using the profits from the Star Wars sale I did back in June to actually put money back into both my personal collection as well as finding items that I feel I could flip. Okay, so there are mainly three areas that you can go about doing this, right? You can go to secondary dealers, whether that be toy shows or antique stores, or, you know, vintage stores, that kind of thing. Okay, or you could do flea markets, or you could do auctions, eBay, and other auctions. Well, the eBay auction and the other auction, the auction category has been by far the best way to acquire lots of items for less money, so that you can either, you know, sometimes they're incomplete, sometimes you may not be in the best of condition, but you can clean them, you can find the accessories and the pieces to go with them, whether they be action figures or vehicles or play sets, and then you can put them out for the sale. Now, I have the most success at my yard sales if I put them out for a price that's slightly lower than what a dealer would put, and slightly higher than what a normal yard sale would be. So that's kind of, so you have to make sure you're not spending too much money. So that seems to be the greatest thing. Facebook Marketplace is a great spot for like accessories and for pieces. They do a lot of claim sales, and I've been having a lot of fun and a lot of success with that. The antique stores, definitely, and the vintage toy shops and stuff, that's definitely more of a place to go when you're looking for stuff for your personal collection. Because when I was down in Florida, I saw a ton of stuff. I saw lots of great vehicles and play sets and things. But the dealer, which, you know, they probably paid whatever they paid for, they're trying to make their profit. So it ends up being, you know, not, if you're buying it to resell, then you have to flip it for a higher price, which doesn't really make sense. So I've been restricting those visits to more like, oh, what do I need in my personal collection, or what is something that they're selling that that's really cool, I'd like to have that in my collection, that kind of thing. And then, but flea markets can be the other go-to. But the problem with flea markets is that it's very, very random, and it's very, very hit or miss. And because, you know, I'm not the only person thinking of this, if you don't get there super early, there's probably others that are doing this. But the one thing I rely on is that not everybody collects Star Wars. Not everybody's looking for Star Wars. I've been watching a lot of flea market videos, like people like Flea Market Flip, excuse me. And they're like into all sorts of other things, like Mad Balls and, you know, monsters and things like, you know, Universal Monsters, stuff like that. It's crazy, you know. I don't want to get into all that. This is not something I don't understand it. The one I know the best is Star Wars, and even that, the details on whether a figure is from Taiwan or Hong Kong, or, you know, what factory it was made in, you know, all these things are, I don't have all that knowledge. I do have good research to find it, but I don't know it myself. So I'm learning as I go. I figured one brand, and it's the brand that I love, and the franchise that I love the most, makes the most sense for me. So let's go onward. It's about an hour drive, so for you it's about a second, and we'll see what we can see.
Alright, you gotta make sure we put them right back in the same space, because I don't have it.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Got the prices on it.
Que la Elisa te queda a la de ella. Que no trajo silla.
What do you have this stuff? What do you have?
It's all antiques, collectibles.
Claro, ya lo rompí la puerta.
¿Ya le rompiste una?
madera.
No es necesario.
Dame un segundo.
Tranquilo.
Yeah, it's a hands-free cycle.
Everything gotta go. Check it out. Tools, toys, clothes, household items, vintage. Check it out.
I don't see that every day. Okay, so that was actually what started off what I thought was going to be a dud. It got better and better. It seems like one end, it's a lot of I don't know if it's really organized this way. It just happened to look this way. But one end of the flea market, it's pretty big, but one end of the flea market was a lot of household supplies and almost grocery store bodega style booths. And then it started, as we get to the middle and to the end, I started seeing more and more just, you know, kind of American picker style, like just random hodgepodge of stuff, and I'd have to go sifting through and finding stuff. But I did find a couple of items that I'll share with you now. We have the Star Wars Young Reader book set of 6, all 6 movies, when there were only 6 movies. By the way, I'm not going to mention the prices, but they were all extremely reasonable, nothing crazy. Certainly enough that I could flip these if I wanted to. But I don't know, I might read these first, we'll see. But that was cool. We have this really cool pack. This is actually filled with like galactic hero, you know, the galactic hero things. This is definitely something I'm going to flip and put out in the sale. I have to go through it though because there's a couple of other interesting things. We have a zombie. We have Chucky. So I'll separate the non-Star Wars and Star Wars, but it's mostly Star Wars, so that's cool. These are some non-Star Wars items. We have a couple of vintage style, I don't know if they're vintage for real or vintage style Halloween decorations. My daughter's really into Halloween and vintage Halloween, so even if we don't find the, even if it's not actually vintage, I would love for her to have it. I think this one is. You can just tell by the feel of it. And for our Disney fandom, we got Back Scratcher from Walt Disney World. I don't know how old this is. Judging by this, I'm thinking it's probably 90s, so that's cool. And then I picked up, there was one dealer that had a bunch of different things. I picked this TIE Fighter. I thought it was a micro collection TIE Fighter from 1982, but it's not. It's the a little smaller. It's actually from Galoob. It came out in the 90s, so I'll put that on a resale. This I was really excited about, the Imperial Source Book. There used to be a Star Wars, for those that didn't know this, role-playing game back in the 90s, in late 80s, early 90s, and it was awesome. I never played it, but it had really cool books to read, and I enjoyed reading the books. And it just kind of fleshes out. It's the first time they were fleshing out like every single ancillary character and vehicle and blaster and insignia, and just making a true attempt at world building. And I had a lot of these. I sold them off, and then I was like, you know what? I think it was like $5, so I picked it up. And then in addition to that, this is actually vintage Star Wars piano music. It is 1977. I just love the art on it. It's kind of like, looks like it's almost copied from the poster art, you know, like maybe traced over. So it's very different. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this. Probably this will go in the collection. Maybe I'll put it in my frame it or something. And that is mostly it, except for when I was just about to walk away, I found somebody selling $5 Disney Star Wars poster. Star Wars puzzle, 500 piece. Honestly, don't know if it got all the pieces. It looks like it does. It looks like it's got most of the pieces, but I didn't care for $5. And again, I'll probably just flip it. But I love the Star Wars art. I love the fact that this is really all we got the first year the movie came out. So there's a nostalgic twinge with it. And if that wasn't enough, somebody else pointed out, hey, there's more Star Wars in this box. And it was the Empire Strikes Back pop-up book. I don't even know how good it is, but I loved pop-up books when I was a kid. Yeah, this is in pretty good shape, actually. And, you know, this, if you could do little activities like turn this and, there's Yoda, yay. So I love the old 80s pop-up books, fun. You know, this will also get flipped in the sale for next year, so really, really fun. I really much enjoyed it. Now, it's a beautiful day. It's still pretty early. I'm heading over to another one. There's one it's called Avenel, I believe, has a flea market, so we're going to check that one out. We're just going to kind of triangulate on our way back home. So I don't want to do the stores. There's a couple of stores up here, but I've been there, and most of them don't even open until like noon, and I don't want to wait around. So let's go to another flea market and see what it is. I don't think we're going to get as good as here. This place is pretty packed, but we'll see what we'll see.
Pero tú la puedes vender.
Sí, sí.
Please report to the office.
Yes, my friend, you need help?
Oh, hi, how are you?
I'm fine.
What are you asking on that?
35.
35?
I have everything. You see the thing why is in the back.
Okay, got it.
Słuchaj, chętnie bym kupiła, ale ja wszystko wypróżniam. Dopiero 2 dni wyjeżdżę do Poznania.
If you send me a message or whatever, I'm like, it's yeah, because only the part, only Balon tombale.
All right, so taking that one off the list. They had a few items. You know, there were more people with, or actually I don't think there was more. I think it was more like congested. You know, there was a more congested space, and there just seemed to be more people with hodgepodge stuff, like just every all sorts of different items, bins and bins of items. But most of that, when it comes to toys, it's all new toys. I think toys within the last 10 years. You know, so that wasn't much help. There was one of those big fig Chewbacca's somebody had, but I just sold one of those, and I couldn't find the person to ask what they wanted for it, so I just let it go. And then there was one collector series, Obi-Wan versus Vader 2-pack. The person wanted $35. Not a bad price actually for that, but again, I don't want to keep it. I want to flip it. So I found that those figures were not selling more than like $20 for 2 packs, $10 for individuals. So I let it go. So that was pretty much all there was there. So that's it. So I think I'm going to actually end it here. I was going to go to one more, but I remember there was a third flea market, and it actually isn't a flea market. It's an indoor flea market, and it was very much just, you know, new stuff, new items, just people buying in bulk and selling it off. So there's nothing of interest there. So I'm going to call it a day. Pretty successful at Meadowlands. I don't recommend going all the time. I would say maybe if you're local, once a year, or once every 2 years, or maybe twice a year at most, excursion. And however, that's for Star Wars. If you're looking for vinyl, they have tons of records. There was a lot of 8-track tapes there. There was a lot of people selling like produce and fresh items too. So, you know, if you're into just kind of walking around and checking out different people's booths, you know, it's pretty cool. I am on the hunt for one rare item, because I stumbled across somebody on Facebook who did this exact thing happened. They actually they actually found at a flea market for like $5 a pedal car that was a speeder bike. Now, this is an uber rare item. I don't even know what I would do with it. I don't even know if I could store it or display it. But the reason it's a rare item is it wasn't ever sold. I don't believe. Maybe not in this country. It was won. It was like, you know, there were like sweepstakes and you could win it. And that was it. They would have one in every store. So you go to a Toys R Us, you'd see it on display. And you could fill out a card and then they would pick a winner and that person would win it. So there are some. It's not like there's only a handful. There are, but comparatively to all the other toys, it's a very rare toy. So it will be my lifelong hunt, I'm sure, to try to find the pedal car speeder bike, and from 1983. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys, that'll do it for this episode. Thanks so much for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Check out all my other content. Check out all our interactions on Instagram and Bluesky. Darth Tuba's unboxing page on Facebook. I guess it's not too early to promote the yearly Star Wars sale, even though it is still about 10 months away in June, but end of June. But I'll talk more about that when we get closer. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, may the Force and the toys be with you.